American tourist Ashley recorded with her cell phone as retired Marine. Robert was arrested by fake police in Tijuana on drug charges. The video went viral, but an even bigger shock awaited Ashley. Robert wasn't just a retired soldier, he was a Medal of Honor recipient and Fallujah hero. When U.S. Border Patrol and Marines saw the video, they created an international incident within 24 hours and rescued Robert. Ashley Martinez was 23 years old, a college senior from San Diego majoring in journalism. She had grown up just 20 minutes from the Mexican border and had visited Tijuana many times with friends for day trips. That Saturday morning in March, she decided to go alone to practice her Spanish and take some photos for her travel blog. Tijuana was bustling as always. Street vendors called out in Spanish and English, tourists haggled for souvenirs, and the smell of street tacos filled the air. Ashley loved the energy of the border city. It was authentic Mexico, just a short trolley ride from her dorm room. She was walking through the main tourist district around 2 p.m., camera in hand, when she noticed an elderly American man looking confused near a souvenir shop. He appeared to be in his early 70s, wearing a simple polo shirt and khaki pants, with a small day pack. Something about his posture, straight-backed, alert, reminded her of her grandfather, who had served in Korea. The man was speaking to a shop owner in broken Spanish, trying to ask for directions back to the border crossing. Ashley approached him. "Excuse me, sir, do you need help? I speak Spanish." The man smiled gratefully. "That would be wonderful. I'm Robert, by the way, Robert Chen." "I'm Ashley. Where are you trying to go?" "Back to the border crossing. I came over for the day, but I think I got turned around." Ashley pointed toward the main avenue. "It's just that way, about a 10-minute walk. Are you here alone?" "Yes, first time visiting. My late wife always wanted to come, but we never made it. Thought I'd finally see what all the fuss was about." There was something gentle and sad about Robert that touched Ashley. "Would you like me to walk with you?" "I was heading that way anyway." "I'd appreciate that very much." As they walked together, Ashley learned that Robert was a retired Marine from Camp Pendleton, about an hour north. He'd served in Iraq and was now living alone in Oceanside. He seemed like a kind, quiet man who was just trying to honor his wife's memory with this simple day trip. They were about halfway to the border when 3 men in police uniforms approached them. Ashley's Spanish was good enough to understand most conversations, but something immediately felt wrong about these officers. "Alto! Documents!" one of them barked at Robert. Robert politely reached for his passport, but Ashley noticed the officers were wearing mismatched uniforms and their badges looked cheap and fake. "Sir," Ashley whispered to Robert, "I don't think these are real police," but it was too late. The lead officer started speaking rapidly in Spanish, gesturing angrily at Robert's backpack. "He's saying they need to search your bag," Ashley translated, her heart starting to race. "That's fine," Robert said calmly. "I have nothing to hide." The fake officer unzipped Robert's backpack and made a show of searching through it. Ashley watched as he palmed something from his pocket and slipped it into the bag, then immediately discovered it. "Drogas!" the man shouted, pulling out a small plastic bag with white powder. Ashley's blood ran cold. This was a setup. She'd heard about these scams, but never witnessed one. "That's not mine," Robert said firmly. "I've never seen that before." The fake officer started getting aggressive, grabbing Robert's arms and speaking rapidly in Spanish about arrest and jail. Other tourists were gathering to watch, but no one was intervening. Ashley made a split-second decision. She pulled out her phone and started recording. "This is a scam," she called out in English. "These are fake police. They just planted drugs in this man's bag." The fake officers noticed her filming and became agitated. One of them approached her, demanding she stop recording. Ashley kept the camera rolling and backed away. "No soy turista," she said in Spanish. "Vivo aquí y conozco las leyes." "I'm not a tourist. I live here and know the laws." This confused them for a moment, but they were committed to the scam now. They dragged Robert toward a fake police car, which Ashley could see was just a regular sedan with magnetic police signs stuck to the doors. "Sir, don't get in that car," Ashley shouted. "These aren't real police." But Robert, not wanting to cause trouble in a foreign country, allowed himself to be pushed toward the vehicle. Ashley kept recording and started live streaming on her Instagram account. This is happening right now in Tijuana. Fake police are kidnapping an American veteran. Someone needs to help. As the fake police drove away with Robert, Ashley ran toward the real border crossing. She knew she had to get help immediately. At the border, Ashley found U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers and breathlessly explained what had happened. She showed them the video she'd recorded. "Ma'am, this is a known scam," one of the officers told her, "but it's very hard to prosecute because it happens on the Mexican side. We'll contact Mexican authorities, but what about that man? They kidnapped him." "Ma'am, Mexican authorities will have to handle it. There's not much we can do." Ashley felt helpless, but she wasn't giving up. She crossed back into San Diego and immediately started posting the video everywhere: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. She tagged local news stations, Border Patrol, and anyone else she could think of. The video started gaining traction immediately. Within hours, it had thousands of views and shares. People were outraged by what they saw. But then something unexpected happened. Comments started coming in from people who recognized Robert. "Wait, is that Robert Chen from Oceanside? That's Bob Chen. He's a Medal of Honor recipient." "Oh my God, that's the hero from Fallujah." Ashley stared at her phone in shock. Medal of Honor? She researched Robert Chen online and couldn't believe what she found. Staff Sergeant Robert Chen, United States Marine Corps. Medal of Honor recipient for extraordinary heroism in Fallujah, Iraq, 2004. During a fierce firefight, Chen had single-handedly rescued 6 wounded Marines from a burning building, making multiple trips under heavy enemy fire. He'd been shot twice, but continued the rescue until all his brothers were safe. The video exploded across social media. Save Robert Chen started trending. News outlets picked up the story. Military veteran groups began sharing it furiously. Ashley's phone started ringing non-stop. News stations wanted interviews. Military families were reaching out. But most importantly, people with connections were taking action. Colonel James Murphy, a retired Marine who'd served with Robert, saw the video and immediately contacted current active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton. Within hours, the story had reached Marine Corps leadership. Simultaneously, the video caught the attention of Border Patrol agent Maria Gonzalez, whose father had served under Robert in Iraq. She escalated it through Border Patrol channels to federal authorities. By Sunday morning, less than 24 hours after the incident, Robert's kidnapping had become an international incident. Ashley woke up to missed calls from the State Department, FBI, and Border Patrol. The story was on national news. Save Robert Chen was trending worldwide, but the real action was happening behind the scenes. The U.S. consulate in Tijuana received direct orders from Washington to locate Robert immediately. Mexican federal authorities, under intense diplomatic pressure, launched a major operation to find the fake police and their victim. At Camp Pendleton, Robert's old unit organized. They contacted every Marine veteran in the San Diego area. Within hours, hundreds of Marines, active duty and retired, were coordinating a response. "Marines don't leave Marines behind," Colonel Murphy told reporters. "Robert Chen saved my life in Fallujah. We're going to save his." The breakthrough came Monday afternoon. Mexican authorities, working with U.S. federal agents, tracked down the fake police operation. It was a larger criminal organization that had been running these scams for months. Robert was found in a safe house in Tijuana, shaken but unharmed. The criminals had been demanding $10,000 for his release, but the international attention had made them desperate to get rid of him. The rescue was coordinated between Mexican federal police and U.S. Border Patrol. When Robert walked across the border at San Isidro, he was met by Ashley, dozens of Marines in dress uniform, news cameras, and hundreds of supporters. Ashley was there with tears in her eyes as Robert was reunited with his Marine brothers. "Sir," she said to Robert, "I'm so sorry this happened to you." Robert hugged her. "Ashley, you saved my life. If you hadn't recorded that video, I just did what anyone would do." "No," said Colonel Murphy, stepping forward. "You did what a Marine would do. You didn't abandon a brother in need." The story made international headlines. The fake police operation was shut down, and several arrests were made. Mexico increased security in tourist areas and created new protocols for protecting American visitors. Ashley's journalism professors offered her internships based on her quick thinking and reporting. News outlets wanted to hire her, but the greatest reward was knowing she'd helped save a hero. Robert recovered fully from his ordeal. The Marine Corps organized a special ceremony to honor both his original service and the community response to his rescue. "This incident showed the world what we already know," the Marine Commandant said at the ceremony. "Marines take care of Marines, and America takes care of its heroes." Ashley was honored at the ceremony as well, receiving recognition for her courage and quick action. "I learned something that weekend," Ashley said in her speech. "Heroes don't always look like heroes. Sometimes they look like quiet, kind old men taking a day trip to honor their late wives. And sometimes being a hero means just keeping your camera rolling when everyone else looks away." Today, Ashley works as an investigative journalist for a major news network. She specializes in stories about veterans and military families. Her first viral video led to a career dedicated to giving voice to those who serve. Robert, now 74, became a reluctant celebrity, but used his platform to advocate for veteran support services and tourist safety awareness. The two remained close friends. Ashley visits Robert monthly, and he calls her his honorary granddaughter. "You know," Robert often tells her, "I went to Tijuana to honor my wife's memory. I never expected to find a daughter." The incident also led to policy changes. The State Department enhanced warnings about fake police scams, and cooperation between U.S. and Mexican authorities improved significantly. But perhaps most importantly, it reminded the world that heroes live among us every day, often quietly and humbly, until the moment someone with a camera and a conscience decides to stand up for what's right. Ashley's video had over 50 million views across all platforms, but for her, the real measure of success was simpler. Robert was home safe, and the world knew that when you mess with American veterans, America responds. The lesson, Ashley reflects, is that you never know who you're standing next to. That quiet person beside you might be a Medal of Honor recipient. That elderly tourist might be someone who saved 6 lives under enemy fire. We should treat everyone with the respect that heroes deserve, because heroes are everywhere. The fake police operation never targeted American tourists again. Word had spread in the criminal underground. Americans, especially veterans, were off limits. The response had been too swift, too overwhelming, too united. Robert Chen's 2-day ordeal in Tijuana became a 3-week international incident that changed policies, saved lives, and reminded the world that some bonds, the bond between Marines, the bond between Americans, the bond between decent people, cannot be broken by borders, badges, or bars. And it all started with one college student who saw something wrong and decided to keep her camera rolling. Ashley Martinez's story shows us that sometimes the most heroic thing you can do is simply document injustice and refuse to look away. Her split-second decision to record Robert's kidnapping didn't just save one man. It exposed a criminal operation, strengthened international cooperation, and reminded the world that heroes deserve protection. Robert Chen survived Fallujah by saving his fellow Marines. 20 years later, he was saved by a college student with a cell phone and the courage to act. In our connected world, everyone has the power to be a witness for justice. The question is, when you see something wrong, will you speak up? Ashley did, and it made all the difference.